Ukrainian troops crushed the convoy of Russian soldiers with anti-tank gunfire on them. Shocking footage has captured the moment a group of Russian soldiers were hit with an insane death ray weapon as they walked through a field. In the video, a group of Russian soldiers can be seen walking through a field with detonated mines in it. But moments later, many are killed and others seriously wounded in a blast from Ukrainian troops. The footage shows the weapon, which is thought to be a Ukrainian anti-tank missile shooter, blast through the unit of soldiers, leaving behind a cloud of smoke. The weapon, called the Stugna-P, has pinpoint accuracy and can penetrate amour up to 800 millimeters thick. It is laser-guided and has a range of up to 5 kilometers and is thought to have been widely used by Ukrainian soldiers in the ongoing battle with Vladmir Putin's troops. The footage shows Russian soldiers rushing out onto the field to help those who have been hit. But just moments later, they are struck by a second blast as they carry the fallen across the field. They then begin to flee from the field before being shot at for a third and final time. Footage then shows them laid across the field, which is laden with black spots where mines have previously detonated. Many people have taken to social media to try to deduce which weapon was used. Stugna-P of tow would be my guess, one wrote. These systems are usually reserved for armored vehicles. A TOW, tube-launched, optically tracked, wire-guided, is an American anti-tank missile. They were most notably used during the war in Afghanistan in the early 2000s. Another person speculated that it was possibly a Stugna-P that had been used, adding it was a little overkill to use heat missiles. Heat, high-explosive anti-tank missiles are shaped charge explosives that are designed to penetrate heavy armor and, once embedded, detonate. These warheads were developed during World War II. Others have suggested it could have been a Bayraktar, an unmanned drone manufactured in Turkey. The latest video comes just weeks after more than 100 Russian troops were wiped out in one missile strike. Using a Stugna-U missile, a weapon specifically designed to hit smaller targets deep in the enemy's defense, Ukraine was able to use just one blast to kill Russian soldiers. Elsewhere, 3 people were killed and 6 injured on Sunday by Russian missile strikes on Kherson that damaged a hospital and a school, the regional administration said. Strikes were also reported in Ukraine's second city, Kharkiv, in which one elderly woman was killed, according to regional governor Ola Sinhubov. More missiles hit today, and images from Kharkiv showed firefighters desperately trying to extinguish flames amid the rubble of demolished buildings. Russian troops had occupied Kherson shortly after Moscow's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022 and held the city until Ukrainian forces recaptured it in November. Since its liberation, the city has regularly been shelled from Russian positions across the Dnipro River. Russia today warned it is on the verge of a direct collision with the US and NATO, and it is very possible there will be no nuclear arms control treaty with America after 2026 due to Washington's efforts to inflict strategic defeat on Moscow in Ukraine. Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said Washington's decision to supply Kyiv with 31 of its fast-moving M1 Abrams tanks was an extremely destructive step which escalated the war in Ukraine. Ryabkov claimed Washington's apparent insistence to inflict strategic defeat on Russia means that the future of the nuclear arms control treaty between the US and Moscow is in doubt. He warned that the last remaining pillar of the treaty could therefore expire in 2026 without a replacement. Both Russia and the United States still have vast arsenals of nuclear weapons, which are currently partially limited by the 2011 New START Treaty, which in 2021 was extended until 2026. What comes after February 4th, 2026, however, is unclear, though Washington has indicated it wants to reach a follow-on agreement with Russia. Asked if Moscow could envisage there being no nuclear arms control treaty after 2026, Ryabkov told the RIA state news agency, "This is quite a possible scenario." Ryabkov, Russia's top arms control diplomat, claimed the United States had in recent years ignored Russia's interests and dismantled most of the architecture of arms control. The United States has supplied more than $27 billion in security assistance to Ukraine since Russia invaded the country on February 24th, including over 1,600 Stinger anti-aircraft rocket systems, 8,500 Javelin anti-tank missile systems, and over 1,155mm artillery rounds. The entire situation in the sphere of security, including arms control, has been held hostage by the U.S. line of inflicting strategic defeat on Russia, Ryabkov said. "We will resist this in the strongest possible way using all the methods and means at our disposal." U.S.-Russia talks on resuming inspections under the New START Treaty were called off at the last minute in November 2022. The sides have not agreed on a time frame for new talks.